How's it going, everyone? It's Daiken here for another Guilty Gear Strive video, and today we're going to be talking about tips and tricks for Baiken. So we're going to be going over a few things I think you should know about Baiken and a few tricks as well that you can start using on opponents that will definitely help you out with this character. So let's get started talking about Baiken. Tip number one for playing Baiken is understanding that your counter is going to actually be frame 1. So this is a frame 1 parry and it's active for about 6 frames, so it's not that long. Now this parry can actually parry all physical attacks, so overheads, lows, mids, it doesn't matter. It parries it outside of throws, obviously, and projectiles as being things that it can't actually parry. So do a gun flame here, we try to parry that, we will not be able to parry it. We would just get countered. You are in counter hit state after this, so be wary. You have to know the timing of when you actually use this parry. But because it's actually frame 1, certain things just don't work on you. For say something like this, a safe jump doesn't simply work on her, because if you actually get the parry to come out, you will get it on frame 1 just like that. So if you get the parry, if you get the reversal timing, safe jumps will not work on Baiken. You just have to make sure that you get the timing just right. So this essentially means any character that doesn't use projectile based Oki, which a few characters do, for say like Kai or Amelia, these characters use projectile based Oki. These won't be characters that you will probably be able to reliably do counter on a wake up, but any other character that does like meaties as their actual Oki situation, then you can actually use this as your reversal. Tip number 2 for playing Baiken is understanding when you go for a throw, you don't actually have to tether yourself to the opponent. So if you hold the throw button, she will not tether herself to the opponent, which she does naturally if you just press the throw button one time. You can also get the tether, of course, to happen from this move as well. But if you don't want the tether to happen, then you just hold the button and all of a sudden you don't have to tether them. This is going to be very good for certain matchups, say like for Potemkin, because of course you don't want to tether yourself to the grappler and of course have things like this happen to you. So we definitely don't want that to happen, right? So of course this is going to be very crucial and allows her to actually choose when she wants to tether, because of course this move is on command, but we all thought she might have been screwed if she had to tether herself from her throw. But of course, now that we know she has the choice, this is very much more in her favor. The next Baiken tip I got for you all is manually doing jump Yozansen rather than doing TK version of it. This move is J236S in the air. So manually doing it is actually better when you're doing it inside of block strings if you're going to be doing it without spinning meter. So basically what happens is when you actually do the TK version, you're actually doing a super jump. And because it's doing a super jump, you actually have less frame advantage. You only have 3 frames of frame advantage when you actually do this. And when you actually do it manually, you actually have 5 frames of frame advantage. So if you do TK version, any button that you try to press afterwards, including my 5P, see me mashing it, will get thrown. It doesn't matter what you press, the opponent will have time to throw you because you don't have a button that's faster than what they're doing. So the frame advantage just doesn't work out in your favor. However, the +5, if you do it manually, will actually allow you to actually put them in the proper block zone or make it to where you are a little bit further away. Now this is a little bit harder to do, but once you get it, you'll actually be able to counter the throw just like that. 5P is going to be the main choice that you're going to be pressing to actually do this. Once again, this is only if you're doing this off of no RC. So if you're using this move with no RCs, this is a technique that you definitely want to implement inside of your game. The next Baiken tip I got for y'all is understanding that she actually gets some pretty good safe jumps off her throw and her 2K2D. So off her throw, she can actually do jump instant air dash back into Tatami mat, and this will allow you to actually get a nice safe jump because the projectile is there. They have to block that and you're just holding down back. The other one she gets off the 2K2D is simply just doing this, and because they're floating in the air, it actually gives you enough time to actually get over there and do an instant air dash jump H. Now there's another version of this you can do, which is going to be a super dash version. This allows you actually get enough height to where you can go for sort of a mix up like that. So if you do that version, you actually can't cover all DPs. The super jump version is just a little bit slower. So if you're going for that version, the super jump into the instant air dash, keep in mind that 7 frame DPs are going to be the ones that are going to stop you. So like Leo's DP and then like Soul's DP, those are going to actually stop you. Not the heavy versions, but the medium versions are going to stop you. if you're trying to do the actual super jump instant air dash. So just keep that in mind versus the character you're playing. But if you're fighting a character that has a 7-frame DP, then you can go for this one all day, the super jump one, and go for the mix up. Now this next Baiken tip I find to be really useful, and that is going to be understanding that she has 2 moves that nullifies projectiles. So believe it or not, but this move, the grounded Tatami Gaeshi, actually nullifies projectiles straight up. Like, it doesn't matter the amount of durability it has. So if you don't know about fighting game projectile durability, essentially each projectile inside of Guilty Gear has what we call a durability, which means they have a certain amount of hits within it. And when projectiles clash, the durability level go down. So if you have a projectile that is level 1 durability and they have one that's level 3, when they clash, theirs is now a 2 and yours is going because now it's at 0. That's basically how the durability system works. But she has 2 projectiles that literally does not care about the durability. So if we take Leo's thing here, this is heavy. This has, I believe, I want to say about 3 hits of durability. It depends on how many hits it is. Okay, so 4 hits of durability for this move. So this move in particular just nullifies it. And the other move that she does that has this is the gun. So if you have 50 meter and a person is trying to do a projectile at you on the screen, you can always just go through it with this. Now sometimes you'll still get hit, but you will go through their projectile and nullify it. This even happens for, say, like Ramathal Super. As you can see, she still hit me because the laser is kind of fast, but the amount of damage she took compared to me is definitely a huge difference. So just keep in mind that you have these 2 tools. If a person is trying to zone you out, you can actually still hold your own out there when you have 50 meter, and of course just using this on the ground. The air version is actually just going to be a single hit of durability, so it's just counted as a regular projectile. So the next tip is going to be dealing with Baiken's neutral and understanding and being okay with playing at a distance because of her disjoint. So Baiken has 2 good disjoints in the form of her 5C and 6C. So these at the tip are going to have good disjoints on them. And also talking about being okay with fishing for counter hits because of the way her 2H works. So because the way her 2H works, you can just go for counter hits. And if you actually counter hit the opponent, you'll get combos from her far slash into 2H for some pretty good damage into a safe jump opportunity. So this is something that's not bad to do with this character because of the range it has. Now this isn't going to be a disjoint, but you can just play off the range. Also, if you hit an opponent crouching, then this will automatically combo into this as well as this. So a counter hit from this and a counter hit from this will combo into 2H, or just getting them crouching from 2S or far slash will combo into 2H as well. So play with that in mind. Also with the counter pokes, because these are disjoints, you can play at a pretty good distance around here and just can't get punished, right? Because there's nothing for the opponent to hit, so you could just get very big damage all of a sudden just because you are very far away and can play at this range where you just are abusing your disjoints. So keep that in mind, that using her disjoints at this range is going to be very good for this character. Another disjoint she has that I didn't talk about is actually going to be this. So this is actually a disjoint. You can't hit. There's nothing for the opponent to hit there. So if you're playing at a distance and you know your opponent is doing something, you're kind of far away, like say if they whiff this, you can sort of try to punish that with this button as well. This is also a very good button for whiff punishing. It's really fast. It pulls them in and you can pick it up for a quick combo. And of course, if you want to RC it, you could go for RC combos as well. So earlier we talked about Baiken's gun super being very good at nullifying projectiles, but this also has another property of being a guard crush, meaning this move is actually plus. This move is going to be +5 on block. So this means you can actually do it in block strings and create plus frames to yourself like this. Now the air version of this move also is pretty good in the fact that it actually stalls your momentum and also creates that guard crush. So if you have 50 meter, you can sort of play at something that other characters that have something like this, like Giovanna, where they can have supers that stall their momentum and be very hard to deal with, or say Soul doing ended banner bringer, and you can actually play like this as well when you have 50 meter. So because this actually stalls her, you can play with disadvantage and basically make your opponent a little bit more scared to try to anti-air you, or say something like this. So as you can see, she can sort of just hover in the air and not come down on the opponent's buttons. This can even work for something, say like Soul's 5K. And because it's a projectile, even if you get hit, it's still okay because the projectile will come out and you'll still be okay. So you can use this and make the opponent think twice about trying to anti-air you when you got 50 meter. So next time you jump in, you could jump in reliably with a button when you have meter, and it makes it a little bit more scary for them because they're a little bit more hesitant to try to go for that anti-air. Now this next Baiken tip is getting a little bit into her mix-ups, and it's talking about the way Yozansen can actually cross up. So this move can actually cross up, so it is not bad to actually use in neutral because of how big it actually is. You could just hit with it like really crazy, like, you know, a person is air dashing at you as well, or you're just pressing it. It's not bad, but also it crosses up, so you can use it as a cross up. If you actually like overshoot on the opponent, is not over, you can use this button and, you know, get a mix up off of it. So it's not bad to actually use for a choice like that, but it's also very good once you understand the way her gravity works. You can start doing things like this. As you can see, it can get very crazy, and you get a full conversion off that as well for some nice damage. So this is something that's going to be very crucial to our game plan and mix-ups. Using this to actually cross up and pull them out of the corner, or using this in sort of neutral situations where you're crossing up your opponent and just getting stuff like that. There's also mid-screen resets you could use when you're tethered as well, to actually use this off of knockdowns and stuff like that. So it's just a very important tool to know that it actually does cross up, and you could use it for some very potent mix-ups. So interesting thing that people started noticing about Baiken in this game is that there's actually a minimum height for when you can actually do Tatami now. So this is going to be something that people are just taking note of. I guess it may be because of the startup. I'm not quite sure. Now, one thing we do know, you can do it immediately when you actually do an air dash. So when you instant air dash, you can actually do a Tatami mat right off the bat. However, a very strong tactic that is now gone from Baiken is she was able to do this while retreating from instant air dash back. She can no longer do this. However, there is a new technique that we could do, which is going to be super jump instant air dash back. So if you super jump and instant air dash back really fast, you can actually get the Tatami mat to come out just like that. So you just have to get used to this new technique. This is the way that we're going to do it now. If you want to retreat, it does take a little bit to get used to, but you can indeed do this method of this. This is going to be the way because of the restriction on it from now. And the last Baiken tip I got for you all is understanding that JD actually wall bounces. So this is not only going to be good for corner combos, but it's also going to be good for when you're actually near the wall. So if you're near the wall and you're doing certain combos that actually put your opponent airborne and you can actually link with a 5k, then doing these type of combos will maximize your damage. For example, that is what a normal confirm could look like off of the TK if you are not near the wall. So if you're in the corner and you get something like this, and this would be the combo most likely that you would go for. However, since you are mid-screen and you're taking them to the corner, your combo could look something like this. So of course you get the wall break, you get more damage, you get access to your super. It's just overall a better situation for you in that type of sense, so you can actually just get more damage and actually break the wall on your own terms. And that pretty much covers everything I wanted to talk about today for Baiken tips. Now, of course, there's plenty of stuff being discovered with this character every day, as she's only been out for a few days now. And as more things get discovered, of course, I will be making more videos discussing more things about this character and going more in depth on her actual mix-ups and set play a little bit later on, because like I said, things are definitely getting discovered every single day, and I'm working on a lot of things myself. But anyway, I hope you guys found this video helpful, and as always, if you like anything I had to say, drop me a like, I greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, follow me on my socials. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn notifications so you know the next video goes live. As always, my name is Baiken, and I'll see you next time. Signing out.